I'm gonna break it. That's for all the. That's for all the. That's for all the. This is a. Well, this is. I'm a doctor, and this is a doctor's outfit. I think Sharon should wear this. This is for all the coronavirus victims. This is the Black Plague outfit from the 1500s. 1500s? I'm not sure, but this is a standard. And what you saw there was a very solemn yet important song that the doctors from the Black Plague would play. They're I wouldn't say victims. I would say patients as they carried him through the streets. Writhing in pain with their Black Plague. Who wants to live in the past? Nobody. This is the Black Plague. I can't see through one eye. That's what the Black Plague feels like. This is what doctors wore. I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor of the Black Plague. Sharon knows. Sharon, they probably supplied this at her facility. I'm not sure, but this is a vintage outfit from the Black Plague, and this is the Black Plague we're having. This is our Black Plague. We have our Black Plague masks, but this is more of a Black Plague for the doctors. This signified that you were a doctor if you wore this mask. This is a horrible version of it. This is a homemade version, but we do homemade masks. But everybody thought that it was a bird's beak. This whole janky shit that they wore back then. But I guess back in the Black Plague, it was so, well, we were rotting in the streets, unlike nowadays where we go to the grocery store. So back then it sucked, and this wasn't a bird. Everybody assumed it was a bird's beak back then, so they fashioned it into beak-like morbid characters afterwards. But what they did originally was the doctors couldn't stand the stench of the rotting corpses as they traipsed through the streets, possibly with victims in hand, sores everywhere. I don't know what they were thinking, but they would stuff this beak with herbs and other scents, other scents. So they'd have to smell the stink of the rotting corpses. And I don't think we have that here, luckily, but, if we don't get our fucking check, we're going to have it real soon. All right, Trumpy? My $49 is identical, Trump. Rotten corpses await, homie. Listen, you don't want the Black Plague, dude. Don't get stupid. $49, same, identical. Don't start. You hear me? You saw that video, right? You heard that song, right? That's a threat. That's a threat, Trumpy. Oh, that's the camera. I'm talking to the wrong camera. I can't see shit. Okay, let me remake my threat. Hold on. I can't see. God damn. Trump, listen here. You see that video, Trump? That's a threat. You can go to sleep tonight. I hope you have good dreams tonight, Trumpy, huh? Good dreams for you tonight, huh? You sleep tight tonight, Trumpy, huh? Good. Count what boss say? Count the sheep tonight. Stupid ass threats. Ba threatens me every time with my life. Every time Ba gets here and she's mad at me, she threatens me with my life. You sleep good tonight, Bobby. You sleep good tonight. Count your lucky stars, or whatever she says. Yo, no, I'll see you with the angels, she says. Some Mexican shit. I don't know what the fuck it is. Well, this is for you, Ba. Don't let me drag your dying corpse all the way back from, where did you go today? Pacoima? Corona? Where the hell did you go? Speaking of Corona, Sharon's going to Corona. So don't let me find your corpse out there. I'll drag it back all the way to the show, and I'll put you on tomorrow night. Because tomorrow night's Friday. It's one of our slower nights. I'm gonna ramp up the rankings with your dead corpse on this show. Coronavirus, Scary Night 2020. So, okay, that's enough of this bullshit. Okay. Oh, the hell? Hi, everybody. Let me fix this mic's all fucked up. That was the scariest song I had. That song was the scariest, and it was scary because Holy Night. I mean, come on, that's scary as fuck. Nobody wants Holy Night. You know, when you get Holy Night, that's Bob's right. If you're sleeping in your bed and you hear Holy Night, Sharon's gonna come knocking. And you don't want Sharon to knock on your door. You don't want Bob knocking on your door either. Sharon's got the mask on. Man. Yeah, no Holy Night. If you hear Holy Night, you're dying. I mean, that's just imagine if you're in bed and you're not a kid and you start hearing Holy Night, ba 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 ba, and then oh man, you can die. That's it. So, yeah, I think people are dying less. I still have yet to find a human being that I know that knows if a person has coronavirus. I don't think it's that popular, honestly. I thought it was hot. It's not that hot. It's not a thing we know about. It's a thing we hear about. I think it's lies. It's all lies. Turn on my fan underneath because I need some after that whole performance. So, yeah, I watched a little bit of the news today, but it was pretty scattered. You know, sometimes it's focused enough to pay proper attention to what's going on, but sometimes it's just a little sad. Well, today was one of those days. I think everybody's on a break. It's Thursday. What are you going to do? So, coronavirus is still happening, I guess. I did go to the store and saw I would say 100% masked individuals. And I heard that New York is instituting a full-blown wear your mask homie day, week, month, or whatever, to just put that shit in the coffin, I guess. I don't know. Now, that's okay. It's okay. Better them than us. And I look at screw my shoes. I look at our death toll. I mean, I heard that Mercy ship that Baugh covered that when she covered the coronavirus twice, I think, really, honestly. Her first piece of coverage was the Mercy ship out in San Pedro Harbor. She saw the one of the two large vessels that entered the two most popular harbors, basically, in the United States, post up to take care of victims that were not coronavirus patients. So I believe she had a follow-up story telling me about how they had a total like 3 cases on that ship. I mean, that ship might as well just turn around and say, toot, toot, bye. That's all right, Dan. Bye. Boop. Because I think they had a gunshot, Pedro, and a stabbing, Compton. Oh, let's switch that around. Stabbing, Pedro, gunshot, Compton. Duh. And then they had some other shit. And very few. But then they had the big story was somebody got coronavirus on the ship. Damn. That's some up shit. They're supposed to, and there's 1,000 people on that ship. You look at that ship, the one boss shot, the coverage she gave us, she shot a picture of that ship. She said, the ship's here.
And I said, oh, that's cool. There's 1,000 people on that ship right now. That's always impressive. I mean, aircraft carriers, okay, they're shooting aircrafts into the sky. But the Mercy ship with 1,000 people, what was he? Oh, was he? Yeah, that's a lot of people up in that. So one of them got coronavirus. So they ushered 100 of them off, knowing that these 100 people have had contact with this one individual. But the odd thing was, this one person had coronavirus on the ship, and the 100 other individuals that they ushered off the ship with that person into a military base, local military base. They tested and I think the number was literally 100 people they tested. Not one of the other individuals had coronavirus from this one individual that's on a ship. And when you're on a ship and you've been near or slightly near 100 other people, I mean, unless you're in a plastic bubble, this person must not have ejected any liquid off of their body. I mean, sweat, maybe. Masked, maybe all the time. Okay, maybe that's a tribute to the protection gear, PPE. So that's cool, but it definitely raises eyebrows as to now how many. I want a number. I want a direct number. Why haven't I seen the number of age-based deaths? I'm sure it's out there. Maybe they don't want to be ageist, but you see some young people die, but are those the spectacular abnormal cases, or are they the norm? I think most of the cases are coming out of hospices and above, which is sad. But it is the same argument that we think, well, okay, we'll shut the whole joint down. Okay, we agree. Two problems. One, old people don't want them to die. The other problem is we don't want to overload the medical community. We didn't know you weren't prepared for the weak baby virus that hit us. I mean, this is like the bitch of all viruses. This is really, I mean, SARS and everything, that's not even on the map. This is the first highly contagious baby virus that barely kills anybody but old people. You know what I mean? It's very slow. It's not like the Black Plague. Believe, all those images I had in the beginning of the show, look up the bubonic plague. I know it was a long time ago, and I know we were stupid and rats were on ships, okay? This is a totally different world we're living in, but we have a very slow, even though it's fast moving, and we've done our job to slow it, it's still a flu less than a murderer like the other one was. So really, when we look back on these days, we should look back with my original idea of dress rehearsal. There you go. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Plan for that. Plan for at least that. This has to do with all of the other mellower and more violent catastrophes that can happen to us. And make an industry out of it. I mean, we love making industries out of anything. This is the odd thing about the human being. The level of curiosity that brings forth such creativity and uniqueness and interoperability between even people that don't get along to better the environment in general is just amazing. So, when we hear about global warming and when we hear about virus and catastrophe, existential, anything about that, turn it into an industry. Employ people about it. Make whatever it is that you make for that. Get that super volcano shit going. Damn. Why am I black? Nobody can see me right now. Is that what's going on? Oh, great. The virus got the computer. the show ain't showing. That's it. Oh no, that's yesterday's. I can't tell sometimes. Yeah, that's making Ron money. Let's see. I got to make sure the show's live. I'm sorry. Holy night. Why is 2 on? All right. Bank. There it is. All right. So, yeah, this is not something we have to take advantage of the situation. This is a beautiful place to be when it comes to having an event occur that is this earth-shattering. This is a wonderful opportunity for everybody, or anybody who has the motivation to advance our survival rate in general, kind of like Elon does, but Elon does it in a way that wants us to get off the planet. He's so far-fetched as far as longevity in the gene pool that I'm getting disinterested in that. I want longevity in me, not them. No, thank you. So really, we need to understand what it takes to have the personal survival rate increase, the now survival rate. So wonderful. If this is once this event subsides and everything goes back to what one would call normal, we can invent industries around this. And if it's focused, that's okay. We can take a virus-only industry, and we don't have to go existential in total. We don't have to do every asteroid and every particular problem that may occur. Let's do virus only. Fine. Focus on that. Make an industry out of it, and let that industry maintain itself as we go through life. It's a stable industry that reaches a peak and hums all along, kind of like NORAD or whatever, spy planes. You don't want it to be governmental per se, but it could be. Okay, it could be. Maybe that's the best thing that sustains an industry over decades. But obviously, it wasn't done that well this time. We don't want to hear we don't want to hear we weren't prepared for it. The medical community can't handle it. Please stay inside while we ramp up. We don't want to really hear that again. We want to just see a thing happen when something like this happens, to where, kind of like a sleeper cell. Imagine a virus happens, and then all of a sudden, out from the woodwork amongst the community rise the virus brigade, and they march towards the hidden virus cave, and they produce the virus help and assistance, and then we all watch this magnificent device that we've, huddled in the corner for decades reveal itself, and then, imagine just rows of potato chips and beanie weenies, just waiting. Whatever it is, they'll last, and it's yummy. Toilet paper, obviously. Jesus, imagine if toilet paper started running out and the Fed said, "Whoa, everybody, slow down, doot, and you had a whole line of people coming out with toilet paper, handing. That would have been great. Whatever it is, masks. We want the federal government to save us in times like this. Please, ratchet up there, buddy. It would be nice. Make it into an industry. Make it into a thing. Especially if the Dems get in. Turn it into something. Turn it into a program. It's okay. Obviously, we'll agree right now. You could probably snake some money from us. You don't seem to be able to dish out that 2.2 yet. And I heard Pelosi or somebody today said the money's out. No, that was Gavin. Oh, here, Gavin kicked in. Okay, Gavin Newsom, best looking man on the planet. Okay, I met him once. I kind of dissed him. I felt a little bad. I was like, "Oh, Gavin Newsom." Then he looked back at me because my chick was with me, and she was like, "Oh, Gavin Newsom." And I was like, "Oh, look at Mr. Gavin Newsom." And I was hating, basically. A little embarrassing, but okay, I was hating. He's better looking than me. My chick's looking at him. What am I supposed to do? Kiss his ass too? No, I throw some hate at him. So I threw some hate at him. And he looked back at me like, all right, dude. I felt like a schmuck. Oh, my God. It was horrible. So Gavin Newsom. Love Gavin now. I love Gavin. I don't date that chick anymore anyway, so who cares? So Gavin, he got on TV and said, listen, I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, but I don't know if this is good or bad. He says, I got you. Don't worry about that Fed money. $500 for each of you. I got you. $500 for each of you. I mean, the Feds don't have any money. I mean, nobody has money. I don't know what's going on. Gavin, $500. Family of two? $1,000. I think he's in a family of any 1,000. I think he capped it off at $1,000. So Gavin Newsom is backing up the federal government. $500. That means I got $1,200 plus $500 plus $500. That's $1,700 coming at me soon. Now, my rent's $2,250. Let me do the math. $1,750, $2,250, no, $1,700. 5, 2. That's $1,000 difference. You know, I stole that from. So whatever it is, you know, it's about $450, maybe something like that. It is not going to cover rent, and my rent's due. So I don't know what that is all about. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why it would be that I would want to wait for that money when it's not going to pay my rent. So that's kind of strange. Neither of the monies have gotten to me, and therefore, okay, fine. I don't want to be a conspiratorialist and say that they are and they are and they are and they're doing something to me. I'm not into that. I don't want to hear it either. I don't want to get out of this and start the blame game. I mean, okay. I'll play with China a little bit. I wouldn't mind blaming China a little bit. I mean, they need to really, honestly, seriously get their act together. It's very disturbing to have, you know, the human race is kind of a one organism thing. We do odd things at each other to maintain an optimal organism, because we are one organism. We don't eat ourselves usually. We don't associate with other animals like we associate with ourselves. We are a single organism. No matter the look or the smart or the height or the sex or the anything we are one organism. The human race. So, we do odd things to make this organism survive. You know, Schadenfreude, for example. That's one of the oddest things I've ever seen. And I partake in it all the time. The enjoyment of another's misery. Now, I don't really enjoy it. What you might think that Schadenfreude on my end is really a balancing act between me and another person who's been a little bit shitty. You have to get yours back. If somebody kind of jerks you around a little bit, you kind of got pink back. You know what I mean? It's a balancing act. So whatever you feel lacking, you get back in your way. Pop, in the eye. Boop. But Schadenfreude's different. Schadenfreude is the actual enjoyment in others' misery. So that I would say is in the family of self-protectionary mechanisms that could be categorized from things like gawking, you know, over roadkill or whatever you want to say, freeway accidents, experiences that make us realize when something's wrong, basically. And kind of socially broadcast the general disdain of a process that's occurring at the moment. And it's very animalistic. There's nothing enjoyable and beneficial about this typically, but there's something about us that we do. The laughing of a mentally challenged individual, the laughing at this person, inside or out, the way in which we feel, that is the reaction that happens sometimes without you. You have to suppress some of those things to be socially acceptable. The staring at something that you aren't aware of, when you're educating yourself about it. There's really odd actions that we do. And so, we suppress them, but they're still there. And so this is a process that, watching TV, watching this show, it's got it everywhere. There's cautionary tales everywhere. There's very strange aspects of us that have us reacting in certain ways. And I think that is something that we can take away from this entire episode in life and ourselves in general, but mainly with particular poignant parts of our experience as we go throughout life, this being one of them, 9/11 being another one. What happens within that encapsulated event, analyzing it and discussing it. Like if 9/11 happened, and it did, it doesn't seem like we had a very cohesive aftermath party. Perhaps it was such a long time ago, and it was such a widespread event that, and the anger was so great that it would have been hard to do it. But these are things that when we let go of this COVID experience or 9/11, we look to the federal government as people that would remember and recollect and then plan for future events, not to protect us from future events like that, but to paint the pictures that happened during this event and separate them and show and explain them in a way that we all kind of can agree with. It kind of gets us all at ground truth to a certain degree regarding the events, how they occurred, maybe even what we could have done better. One thing I like about Fauci is that he says he could have done better. And that was a good thing. I liked hearing that. That was a regular person talking about a regular event. Now I want a few more people involved, but when you get to the top, oftentimes it's one or two individuals making the decisions. So what else are you going to do at times? You have to really let things go and let the best man make the decision. Okay. So that, looking back and understanding that as a group, as a human group in the United States would be a good practice. That would be a wonderful thing to experience. It would be, I would say a roundtable discussion of sorts where the people involved that were calling the shots, we saw them, lady with scarf, Fauci, Trump, general that did the supply lines, Sonny, the food guy, all of the people involved. And maybe one tier below them. Get them, and I'm not talking a Senate hearing. I don't want to hear about no Senate hearing. I'm talking about an honest roundtable with perhaps, you know what works good? 2 reporters, one for each side, kind of like the debates, and measured in a way that would allow this is not a blame game. This is a discovery process. The reporter would have to be very good at giving props and digging deep. It would be a very interesting balance. I like doing stuff like that. I love counseling couples. If you're a couple and you're having problems, let me know. I'll counsel the fuck out of you. I love hearing both sides and balancing it out and really trying to give either side a fair dose of reality while maintaining the decorum that is occurring between both parties so they don't, at the end of the event, fight, but more so love each other more, if that's what's hopeful. It's a very interesting dynamic to have happen. And it's a fun challenge when you're balancing that between two people. And I think that would be the case between, maybe you would need a third interviewee, a very neutral individual controlling these two questionnaires, these two interviewers. There would be a moderator. Moderators usually in debates are very weak. You have to have a strong moderator. The moderator would really set the tone. And then the interviewees, the two interviewees, one Republican, one Democrat, and you'd have to do it that way, would come at the people involved in the coronavirus entire episode, and they would, in front of us, wonder what happened and what did we do. And there must be Perot-like stats laid out. There has to be figures. There has to be self-critique. It would be nearly impossible for Trump to attend, but if he could attend, it would benefit him, but he wouldn't be able to do it. He would sour the event, unfortunately. Everybody else would be very interesting to hear from as far as like a critique of it all. I think that would be a very interesting aspect of self-analysis. So I hope that something like that can happen. That would be wonderful. And that would be a very, very interesting event. I have a call out to Long Beach Memorial Hospital. I was going to go tonight. It's walking distance. And so I have a call out to the public relations person that handles the floor in the evening, Michelle, and left a message with her. I want to go tour the hospital and ask them a few questions about what the coronavirus victims are going through that are still there, that haven't received their checks, and that are in a position of strife because of what's going on in, near immobility and no money. And I want to see what that means to them and how they are dealing with that. So that call is placed to Michelle, Long Beach Memorial, walking distance. I'm going to probably take a mobile camera and walk over there. Maybe I'll do the show all the way over there. That'd be kind of fun. So hopefully that happens tomorrow. And that started the process of getting her reporting system organized a little bit better. I need to get dates on the calendar with events that are occurring that she can attend. So there's a site you might have heard called Eventbrite. You go on there, it's pretty interesting. There's a ton of events that are happening. A lot of conventions and gatherings. The knitting crew is getting together for a big show. Everybody getting together. You're on there. You get on there. They sell tickets, basically. So it's a really cool place to find groups of people that are meeting over a subject. Lakers paraphernalia. Can't wait. Next Sunday, 2 p.m. Whatever. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. AAA. What does it do for you? I have no idea. So that list is going to be scoured. I also signed Ba up for a press pass for Anacon or whatever the fuck it's called. Anime Con. What's it called? Cartoon Con. I don't know. I went a couple of years. What the fuck is that called? Anacon. I don't know. The place where all the cartoon characters come to life. It's Cool. Hot chicks. Cute outfits. A lot of masturbatory actions going on. I'm going to send Ba. So I signed her up today for a press pass for that. And that brought me into the world of press passes. So we have the United States Press Association form filled out for Ba. So she's going to get, I wouldn't call it an official press pass for the United States. It sounds a little bit much for what it is. You can't just get in anywhere if you get this press. Press passes are not universally accepted. If you go to an event, you have to contact each organizer when you go to an event. If there's an event wherever, you have to contact them and say, hey, can I have a press pass? They'll give you their own press pass. So you can get in through the guards, through the walls, through the whatever it is that's happening. So that's one piece of knowledge that now I'm aware of. Each event has its press pass. But I want Ba to have a press pass, a general press pass, a legitimate one. You know, I have to pay for this one. It's a press pass. You have to join an association. You have to register. You know, it's half BS, but it's half not, because they give you a lot of credential-like information. Credentials, badges, and things to wear, things to put on your car. So I'm going to sign her up for that, so she's officially a reporter to that type of degree, and then we will go further. If she's going to cover any police or fire if she needs to cross a police or fire line, I have to go to the police department to get that type of press pass, but I don't see her doing that unless she wants to. So I'm going to go and get that press pass working now, the generic press pass, and this will get her going with her whole rig. I think I got to get one for her sister. I think her sister's going to start living with her, so that's happening. And she went out to Corona to cover something this weekend. I think it was Corona. I'm not sure where the hell she went. Ba, you call me 15 times. Listen, Ba, I'm never going to give you my phone number. You are a phone Nazi. You are a phone. You're the phone devil. You're the phone. You are a phone. You're like a phone termite. You're like you wore out my phone last night. Ba called me 23 times. And I couldn't answer. And sometimes I don't even want to answer. You know, you get off the air. Sometimes you don't want to talk. Sorry. So leave a text if you have to talk. But calling 20 times isn't going to work. Silent is very easy to apply to a phone. Please have some, don't make your hair isn't on fire all the time, Ba. I don't know what it was, but you know what? If your hair was on fire, I look forward to, if you call 23 times in an evening, after typically on a call, okay, if you're a normal human being and you know another normal human being and they call 3 times in a row, something's wrong. I expect to pick up that phone and hear that there's a broken leg, or mom's died, or the world's ending, or, something very nowish, hurry-ish. But I can, now maybe I'm wrong, but I can guess with experience that if I were to have picked up the phone on the 21st call and said, hi, Ba, she would have yelled at me for quite some time, and she would have had very normal information after that. And then I would have hung up the phone. It wouldn't have been, God forbid I'm wrong, God forbid bra, broke her bra. But I'm assuming that it had to do with the next day where she was going to Corona and she wanted, help with the phone. That's not emergency information at this point, because we just went over the phone. Do what you can. Do the best you can, Ba. with the phone. You really succeeded Tuesday night by putting the phone together under 5 minutes. In under 5 minutes. You did great. Now, if it's something specific and I'm not answering the phone, just leave me a text, a basic text. I'll get that for sure. But I don't necessarily want to pick up the phone all the time after the show. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry. I can't, I got to have my me time, So I'll try to. Believe me, I'll try to. But I know how you are on the phone. You are a phone. You're always on the phone. I'm never on the phone. I don't like the phone, really. I'm not into the phone. I don't like talking on the phone. I got too much to do. Once in a while. Not often. Not that fun. It's okay. A chick, maybe. That's it. What am I supposed to do? I don't like watching TV by myself. And I don't like talking on the phone, usually. Shit. Too busy. Look at these notes. I write all these all the time. Don't even use them. Girls. Ron wants Fantasy Castle to open back up. And so do I. We're gonna go visit them on a regular basis to make friends. You need friends around. We live in this area here, Signal Hill. Signal Hill is the most boring part of Long Beach you've ever seen in your life. When you drive through Signal Hill, you're like, do I gotta stop? You don't even want to get gas around here. It's so boring. It's a boring city. Zero time. Nothing going down. The only good thing about Signal Hill is it's got those kind of sidewalks that are kind of like dirt only. Look like Northern California, that kind of thing. It's kind of cute. Some vacant lots because of the oil derricks. We got a lot of oil derricks. God knows why we have a lot of oil derricks, but our signs aren't made of gold. It seems like if we had all these oil derricks everywhere that would have signs of gold. Isn't that what happens when you have oil? Don't we have this oil? I mean, who has this oil? I mean, I want some. We have a ton of oil. We have more oil than anybody. I mean, oil is everywhere around here. What the fuck does it look like a normal city for? Well, shouldn't we look extra bomb? I mean, shouldn't we, Jesus Christ, shouldn't we have some sparkle? Shouldn't we have some extravagance? I mean, a little bit. We have nothing. Zero. We got nice cop cars. That's it. That is it. We got nice cop cars. They're all those trucks. That's it. Truck cop cars. Nothing else. So, but Signal Hill, I used to live on Pine Avenue. Pine Avenue is Long Beach. Is Long Beach's downtown. It's a nice little street. It's cute. People are okay. Not bad. Not horrible. Not the best. It's not Melrose or whatever else is up there that's hot. Whatever that other one was. Even it's old now. Whoever the hottest place is. We didn't get the hot. That one. I lived on 4th and Pine in a cool little loft. Man, right when it was starting to pick up, all the people were moving in. Slightly cool folks in general. Can't believe I used that word. And I expected to pick up. Man, Long Beach cannot attract. And we got the whole human race here. Cool people cannot seem to get here and stay here. And if they are, they were born here and they're just a bunch of douchebags. So it's just like, we can't get the outside regular fucking radness. And I saw it once out my window. I was looking too. My window overlooked Pine Avenue. And I would look all the time, smoking cigarettes at the window. And I saw all of a sudden, within about on year 3 when I moved in, when shit started cleaning up and it started smelling like pee and everything was cool. Like the bums are gone and stuff. The bars are starting to pop. I started seeing like cool people coming in. I was like, here it comes. I'm finally cool. We finally like at the base of the Hollywood Hills. We finally something we got. Ooh, it's gonna be bomb. We gonna man, it's gonna burn. Maybe First Street would move over here. Whatever. First Street's our little cool art district. No, nothing moved over. Just more mall people. Just like the mall kept coming. The mall. The mall is so... I don't know what it is, but it's just... Like... The mall is like a club, and the mall is like... We should call it the mall. That's what we should call it. It's basically the same thing in the daytime. The mall. You going to go to the mall? No. Why not? Because I'm going to the club tonight. You don't go to the mall and the club. So it's the mall. So we never got out of the mall. We stayed in the mall. And I don't really want to be the mall. I don't like hanging out in the mall. I don't like hanging out at the club. Neither crew is my crew, you know. They cool. It's all right. You do you. I don't want to go to the club. And I definitely don't want to be in the daytime at the mall. And that's what we had on Pine Avenue, the mall. And at night we had the club. Fucking man. So it wasn't hard for me to go, bye-bye. I ain't having this anymore. It was better when it was desolate down there. When the mall came in, it was chatty, man. Fucking chatty, dude. I'm on regular. I'd rather have homeless desolation than regular. Regular is like a snoozy. It's snoozier when it's regular people walking around than the homeless. At least they have interesting stories. I remember, I remember his name. This guy that would wash every storefront window. Not Ernie. He's got long hair. He's got a schlong and a big bald head. Very nice guy. Almost murderously nice. Yeah. Took a nosedive. The mall. No thanks. So, I forget where I was going with that, but it was something. Man. Yeah. But Long Beach is all right. It's a cute city. Cute houses. Lots of trees. Cute houses. Craftsman houses. Cool people. And I would say, honestly, a fair split between black, Mexican, white, and Cambodian. Filipino, too. Smattering of other Asians. And Chicano and Paisa, kind of the smattering of both of that group of Mexicans and stuff. So it's a good general mix of California. It's very it's really, honestly, aside from like where I grew up in high school in Torrance, where we had a lot of Japanese, it's a pretty good representation of California, I would say. It has its pockets aren't too zippered up either. They tend to move around a little bit and spill over. There is definitely Cambodian town. You see it on the side of the road. It says Cambodia town. So we know where people are kind of, but it really doesn't matter. So it is it's a place. It's funny. I never thought about it before, but if you had to think of the racial makeup of Long Beach, it's to a degree of diversification that it gets to a point of being unnoticed. Because when you have as many different people as possible, New York must be the biggest version of that. But when you have the most diverse quantity of individuals, I would say that race would more so and increase in disappearing into the inability to parse the difference between all of the people that you're witnessing if they're just a spectrum of rainbow color and look and size and everything. It just would be, imagine if you had, think of it this way. Imagine if you had a city populated with one of every person. Shut up, Siri. I said city, not Siri. Dork. Well, imagine if you had a city populated with one of every country on the planet. Actually, you could do it in a building. But that would be an interesting view of the world. I might have to compile that. Who is the most average person from every particular country? And within that country, if you have a variation, I mean, like China, of course, you got Mongolians, you've got everybody. You've got Hong Kongians. I forget how they pronounce themselves. So, and, if you take all of the, basically taking every individual style, and you have to base it on visuals. I'm not going to base it on attitude, okay, and cultural differentiation, opinions, and food. I'm not going to base it on that. I have to just go by looks. And looks mean height, face, nose, hair, color, the basics, physical structure. It would be very interesting to see all of us in a room, a large, huge warehouse, and then see if the actual aspect of differentiation goes to the floor, through the floor, into the center of the earth, because of the stochastic nature of the humankind in front of you. So that would probably prove some type of solution for racism. The inability to be racist would be to maximize the quantity of differentiation. That seems like the best answer so far. If you could pump every city full of everybody and perfectly even. I mean, like, I got 2 Germans from the Alps, or from near the Alps, French Alps, but the other side of French Alps, German side. Yeah, that was it. And whoever looks different, we got to go on the basics, because we judge things by the book of the cover, not by the inside words. That's how we look at shit first. Sorry, talk to God. All the insides are beautifully the same, anyways. They're all humans. It doesn't matter. The outside is what makes our stupid xenophobic urges bubble up. Okay, you got to base it on the outside. I'm doing this for our stupider side, the stupider angels of our nature. So you populate every city. This is like, I know, this is a requirement of the new great country, right, Thomas? I'm actually defining new great country. I didn't even know I was doing that. Happy about that. New great country. Okay. We got a racial requirement for new great country. This is interesting. All right. So we finally understand how to populate new great country. And we'll call it the Noah's Ark method. Even though it's not accurately Noah's Ark, and we aren't animals, even though we are animals. Nah, I like it that we're animals. And I like Noah's Ark. Okay, that's even better, because Noah's Ark was filled with animals. We're animals. 2 of each, please. 2 of each. Every city, 2 of each. Now, I know the numbers aren't going to work, but in new great country, can't wait to design the flag, by the way. In new great country, my country, I am the first president. Sorry. I'm going to start it off. I'm going to start it off right. Then I'll hand it off. But I'm going to start it off right. I'm going to go for two. I'm going to go for 4 terms. Whatever a term is, I got 4 of them. Then everybody else gets 2 like us. Whatever you decide, I get double in the beginning. Then you guys can have half as much. I'm going to go for that in the beginning. I got to make sure it's set up right. I can't anybody coming in early and smearing it around. So new great country. Okay, that's the name of the country. The tentative working name. We've made our first decision. How to populate new great country. You populate it, everybody. Every single visually different individual on the planet. Now, we don't care how they think. We don't care what they think. We do not care about their thing. We are going only on visuals. Now, I'm working this through in my head in front of you right now, so don't get all loud at me till I figure this out. But so far, so good. So, you get new great country. Start a new great country. It's going to be an island, I think. It's got to be an island. I don't know. It's got to be something we can purchase. Purchase an island. Start a new great country. I don't know. I don't even know if it's is it legal to start a country? Like, how do you start a country? What is it? You have to have some type of recognition from other countries, I think. So whatever that is, we'll achieve that. The idea is good enough. We're going to achieve it. Believe me. Okay. So new great country, first and foremost, it has in its initiation, the inception of two people, a woman and a man, from every physically different looking part of the world. And that, hey, China's going to win on this one because I'm sure there's probably, America barely even counts because we're just everybody. But okay, so there's some Americans now by now. Okay. Well, China's got probably 20 different Chinese, looking, not thinking, looking, not culturally, looking only. So we get all 20 Chinese. God forbid they bring over what they're doing now. But okay, it doesn't matter. We have to include them. Bring it over. Man, we put acetone on them, get that old thinking out of them. Hey, come over. Japanese, Africans, Mexicans, Brazilians. Now in Brazil, it's a big-ass country. How many different Brazilians are there? There's some light-skinned ones and some dark-skinned ones. We want it all. If you have two Brazilians that look the same visibly, like featurally, like nose narrow, eyebrows wide, big head. I don't know what they look like. I do know what they look like. Lima, Adriana, hello, baby. Best Brazilian on the planet. If you have Adriana Lima, she's pretty dark. And then you have a very fair-skinned Adriana Lima. That's two different people we include. That's a distinct differentiation. We have to include both. You can't just have the dark Adriana Limas. You have the light ones too. And every other version in between. There might be 20 different ones that look like, who knows? But the goal is to have every single different looking person in the world in a country. We're trying to solve racism, okay? We're just automatically. We're not even trying to solve racism. It's just a byproduct of the process that I'm talking about right now. We're investigating. It's like what they would call they would call this a brain. They would call this a thought experiment. Technically, it's a technical thought experiment. Okay, so. Africa, tons of different Africans. Tons. Germans, sure. I'm sure there's tons. Swiss, me? Half of me is Swiss. I don't know. I know some Swiss people. I see them. They're dark-haired, white, yet not white, but white. And then you go white. Then you go all the way to, Norway, white. Yeah, all of them. Towheads, everybody. Iceland, bring it over. You start getting into, nomadic regions. You got to go deep into Brazil. You got to go into the rainforest. You got to bring them up. Anybody with any type of and you count the difference between even physical adornments, like you get somebody with a plate and a not a plate. That is a style of a person that's growing out of their environment physically. They look different. We want them. The more, the better. So we get this completely stochastic human group together as the new great country. They all want to be there, by the way. We start with like tons of gold. Tons of something. We have tons of everything. And freedom like crazy. Like we would have anyways. Anyway. And a beautiful island. Summer all year long. If you want some winter, we have a part that looks kind of like winter. Whatever you want. We go. In fact, we'll build it. We're not going to culturally build it. We're that's a tough call. We got to get to that later. The whole cultural thing is a different thing because everybody brings their whole trunk load of shit. You know what I mean? They might have to agree to the language thing and the cultural thing. And don't worry about that right now. We're not talking about thinking smart right now. We're just talking about thinking of a particular strain of correction that wouldn't mind being improved. And it's in comparison to what we got going on now in Long Beach, and not really, but in in worlds of in America in general is a good way of looking at it. But this is like a new great country, so we don't want to compare to anybody because the requirements are much more stringent and focused. And this has nothing to do with eugenics, so get that out of your mind. We're not doing any breeding. We don't care who screws who. They can just mix and mash. I don't care what happens. This is to calm the wild beast that is in each of us. Actually, to smother it and to have it not able to act. So you have a bunch of people that are all different. They aren't going to be able to tell what to hate or what to be disapproving of or who to point at. It's the number of, imagine being in a group of 300, 5,000, 1,000 probably. We have, I don't know, 300 nations. We have 1,000 different looking people. I have no idea. But if you put 1,000 different looking people in a room, in a big, huge warehouse, and you had them kind of look at each other, they wouldn't know what to do. It would be too much. There would the overload would be so great on the xenophobic knee-jerk response. Like we would set them up too. We would create scenarios in there. Like we'd have food in the middle, and we'd have chairs everywhere, and we would have a little bit of music on the side, something very generic. Whatever, we would have a bunch of whatever. I don't know. We'd have a little park, and then we would see how everybody acts. I would just find it very interesting to see what a completely dispersed group of humans would do with itself. And would it get rid of any problem? Now, I know that within that, micro groups form. That might be the Achilles heel, really. We love taking anything and then, separating it from other things. We're so good at that. So, I don't know. You'd really have to look at the overall view too. If there's a ton of different looking Africans and there's only half as many different looking white people or Asian people, you really can't be unfair to the general color group. That's going to cause a problem too. So, maybe the technical aspect of fairness would be difficult to achieve, but you would hope to be able to achieve that, to get to a state of complete uniformity so nothing matters. I would love that. It would be so beautiful. Nothing mattered racially. That would be amazing. I can't think of a better way to do it. And I know that way has failure after failure lined up for it to meet immediately within a day or two. I've seen the studies. You put a bunch of kids in a room, you put blue shirts on one of them, put yellow shirts on the other ones. The blues and the yellows hate each other. That's just all there is to it. We're fucked. There's no way around it. We have to just admit we are racist, and that's just the way that's all there is to it. And we have to just learn how to not do it. And not the racist that you're thinking. Racist in general. The separation of us and them, whoever them is or are. And we have to visualize that and approach it as a non-negative, a natural occurrence. Yet, a way to live not against it, but almost like ridicule it if it appears. And Sharon talked to me about it last night. Sharon Osborne, Midnight Moonstar. God knows what your fucking name is. Can you just be Sharon, please? Midnight Moonstar. We talked about her. She's in the South right now, and she's like, God damn it, Bobby. Man, racism, man, it's alive and well. And she is not one to deal with that. This is a strong woman. So she's moving to California, and the show cannot wait. It's very fun that she's getting here. She's going to be a little bit of a distance away, but I think maybe once a month she can be on the show. That would be great. So we had a nice conversation. I hadn't talked to her in a couple of years. But she can't wait to get out of the South. So, you know, I'm speaking from California where we really, you know, we got rid of a lot of it. I don't know where you need to watch more MTV or something down there. Now, remember, there's odd things that happen when it comes to honor and even racism. There are odd reasons why that stuff is alive. Call it backwards if you want, but I think a lot of times when a subject like honor, you know, when people are very upset when they are dishonored, you know, you got Mexican machismo, you've got everything, and there are reasons behind that stuff. There are reasons that once you arrive at the reason, it's not even a cultural reason. Usually sometimes it ends up being landmass based or authority based. It is something that you don't necessarily agree with when you realize this. If you read Guns, Germs, and Steel, or you read anything that has to do with a particular part of why weird negative things actually make sense when you know why they happen, you don't appreciate them, but you definitely don't have the same feeling towards them you did in the beginning, which is nice. You know, I hated machismo. I hated honor. I thought it was so stupid. What the hell are you worried about when somebody disrespects you? It's the stupidest fucking concern I've ever seen in my life. But now I understand it. Different population, different concerns, different upbringing. You know, it is when nurture matters. And even more so when a geographical area matters. And how things operate in that geographical area. So, not that I want that kind of stuff to mature and flourish and continue, but it's along the lines of when one actually understands the general motivation of both sides of the Republican and Democratic parties. When you understand that system, you actually see the philosophical backbone appear and the humanistic propensities emerge from within those two backbones. And you don't really want to separate the human race into conservative and risk-taking, but really it is kind of that general, you have those two general strains of humans that either can be created if you create a system like that because they fall into line, or there are two types of humans. Ones that tend to preserve and ones that tend to explore. And therein lies the two parties. Now, if you split those parties into 5 parties, are you going to then find that, oh, there are 5 types of humans? You could. But we can't really, you know, there's a part of decision making that I think the forefathers understood, and that is complexity. We cannot be involved in politics at this moment if we have too much work to do about it. Because our lives are not politics. We are not politicians, nor should we be this involved in politics. Trump is the only bad thing about Trump right now is the fact that we have to pay attention to him so much because he's such a schmucky schmuck. I love the guy, but God damn it, shut up. And so we aren't built to be political in nature on the constant at this point. Later on, we will be, for sure. I read a book in 1984. No, published in 1986, actually, by Eric Drexler, The Engines of Creation. And The Engines of Creation is a book on nanotechnology. And in that book, probably in others, but in that book where I read first, Eric Drexler pointed out the age of endless abundance and the prospect of basically, the human race doesn't make anything because it can grow everything from the atomic level up. So he puts forth the concept of nanotechnology from that perspective, and then paints a great picture on what that capability would result in. So if you reach a society that has the capability to produce anything, from basically purchasing a program, I want to purchase the program to make a cake. The cake is just made of atoms in a particular order. That's all it is. There's nothing cakeish. There's no cake at the atomic level. So you can make a cake out of atoms if you could manage and control the atoms and molecules, but primarily atoms, because molecules are made of atoms. So you build the system that can do this. It's based on replication. Movies are made about it all the time. Nanobots, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So in your house is a vat of raw materials, typically carbon, but mostly raw materials of any type. This is when trash becomes valuable, by the way. I have a big theory on that, or an idea. So if you can make anything out of a vat of raw materials through a program, and this isn't 3D printing, okay, but it's not far from it. These are atomic machines creating atom by atom a cake, and out comes a perfect cake. And there you are. You eat it, and it's yummy. It's even better than before. But let's just say you make an old-fashioned perfect cake. Boop, you make it. Here it comes. Within minutes, it emerges. Maybe an hour. Maybe immediately. You can also construct a car from a larger vat with a proper program, because the atoms that make up a car are the same atoms that make up a cake to a particular degree. There are different ones in there, but not much. Out emerges a car. The material that's inside the vat that is sitting there waiting to be utilized is base elements. I mean, there's nothing in there that's really meaningful. And the machinery inside there is basically replicable upon itself. They're nanobots, so they could replicate themselves and utilize the raw material in this vat to build you a Volvo S70. So here it comes. I'd even dry it off when it gets here. It's perfect. I mean, the damn thing is fucking perfect. They can even emboss your name in the damn seats if you want. So when this abundance occurs is when and this is, remember, I'm talking about The Engines of Creation, Eric Drexler's nanotechnology book. Prospects of, I don't know what it's called. We actually become politicians, because the only thing left to do is to do with ourselves. And this is painted into a narrow sliver of thought. This is painted into a way of thinking that is kind of nowish. So that's with a very narrow view of the world, as if it were going to stay the same as we move forward into the nanotechnology future of abundance. So I'll admit there's some error, but I haven't read the book in 20 years. So I'm sure Eric covered it. Eric Drexler, by the way. Drexler. He paints a picture of our final path of employment, kind of, is politics, is the social interaction between ourselves. and what that is about and the smoothness of it. And it's not negative like you think it is. It's positive. It's different than what you would think it would be. So that's the type of politics we want to think about all day long. We don't want to watch politics all day long. This is a different world. This is not Eric Drexler's world. This is a world of we have to work. Then this guy comes on TV, says some funny things, and we got to watch it because it's going to be funny in a minute, though. That's too much. We can't do this too much politics. Unfortunately, it's better when we have a boring president because they disappear into the background and then we hear from him once in a while. This guy we hear from every day. He's too yummy. Get him out of here. No more interesting people. We need boring fuckers. Boring. We need boring people in politics. Stop it with the interesting people. No more. It's draining. It probably reduces our overall GDP. Imagine somebody, every time you introduce somebody interesting into your life, it reduces your personal GDP. You don't want that. Come on. Produce like me every day by yourself. Every day. I'm going to go produce right now. Bye.